So hello everyone, welcome to our webinar on studying industrial engineering in Germany. My name is Georgi and I will be today the moderator, to a certain extent also the host, but yeah, the main hosts are our speakers today, our guests. So you already know who they are and I will introduce them shortly, but first, warm welcome from my side. And this is a really special webinar for those who are interested in studying industrial engineering. And this is a great opportunity for you guys to ask your questions directly to the representatives of the programs. And of course, then get the best possible answers, because these are the people who can and who will provide you with the best possible and most up-to-date answers regarding their programs. So yeah, I would suggest you, dear friends, to make use of this chance and ask your questions in the Q&A section, which you can see in the bottom part of the Zoom interface. And there you can send your questions throughout the whole webinar, and it will be one of us who will answer them as soon as possible. So just one suggestion from my side is that when you have a question which is directed at one of these particular programs that are being presented today, I would suggest you to mention it in your questions so that our communication with you is more smooth and quick. But if you have, of course, any general question about studying in German, then I will answer it. No need in that for any specifications, of course. But yeah, be as specific as possible, which is because yeah, it's for you, good for you, so that you can receive the best possible answer. You cannot use your chat today. However, please, I would suggest you to follow the chat, because I will be sharing with you some interesting links regarding these programs. So yeah, keep an eye on the chat, despite the fact that you cannot use it. So now I would say that I will start a short presentation from my side to introduce to you MyGermanUniversity really briefly and some interesting details about studying in Germany. And then I will invite to the floor our speakers. Okay, so let me start. Let me share with you my screen. You must see it right now. Yeah, so the topic is studying industrial engineering in Germany. And briefly about MyGermanUniversity. So we are Germany's largest database of English taught study programs. If you go to our website, you will find over 2,300 programs, not only bachelor programs, but also master's programs. And also now it's such kind of novelty that we have also short courses and language courses, which are listed in our study finder in our database, which is also really great. So our study finder is actually one of the ways how we help students like you to come on their way towards studying in Germany. So I would say shortly, this is how our mission looks like. And another way of helping you is through writing articles. So we have more than 70 comprehensive articles on various topics like scholarship, like medicine, various requirements about the most popular cities, etc., etc. So you can go to MyGermanUniversity, and on the articles section, you will see our articles there on different topics. And the third way of helping you is through conducting and doing our webinars. So we have approximately 150 webinars per year. The topics are different. It can be scholarships, it can be universities, it can be visa, or it can be subject webinars like today's one. So we have industrial engineering, but we also have different topics based on weekly basis, like biology, physics, political science, philosophy, etc., etc. So various topics, and you can find all the upcoming webinars, and you can sign up for them on our website of mygermanuniversity.com, and in the section of webinars, where you can see the list of all upcoming webinars already planned. And yeah, regarding our team, so we are based in Hamburg in Germany, but our team is quite international. We have people who are based in Brazil, who are based in China, in Spain, of course, in different cities of Germany also. I, for example, come from Georgia, but now I am based in Germany. So yeah, our team is international, and we are counseling in various languages, ranging from English to Georgian, also including Italian, Spanish, etc., etc. So yeah, that is about our team shortly. And now let me introduce you first our agenda, and we'll jump into some interesting facts about studying in Germany that you should know about, some interesting details, and then we will already have our first presentation from our first speaker. So for today's webinar, we have two programs presented here and two guests. So the first will be Mr. Stefan Eghbalian, and he will be He is from Kiel University of Applied Sciences, and he will be presenting the master's program in industrial engineering. And the second guest is from Deggendorf Institute of Technology, Professor Dr. Raimund Brotsack, and he will be presenting bachelor's program in industrial engineering. So it's good for both levels, for people who would like to do bachelor or master's. So it's a good choice that you've joined our webinar today. And yeah, before we jump into our first presentations, let me tell you some things that I'm sure will be interesting for you. So for those people who are those potential students and future students who would like to study in German, there's a database called Hochschulkompass, which I would recommend you to take a look at. And for example, if you go to Hochschulkompass and try to find degree programs related to industrial engineering, you will be able to find 422, but only 10 of them will be in English. That's why for those who would like to study in English, MyGermanUniversity and our study finder would be your stop, I would say. I would strongly recommend. So if you go to our study finder, you'll be able to find 59 degree programs for industrial engineering. And there are 15 in bachelor, and out of these 15, 8 will be English only, and 44 master's programs, and 38 will be English only. So much richer, I would say, choice for those who would like to study in English on our study finder rather than Hochschulkompass. For those who don't know yet exactly where they want to study or on which program at which university, and they just want to find out about what it generally looks like to study industrial engineering in Germany, what they should expect. So this is something that we have for all the subjects. So for we call subject pages. For example, we have subject page for industrial engineering. And if you go there, you will see what are the university rankings that generally in Germany that are offering this kind of program. What are the tuition fees? What is the range of tuition fees that you would expect if you want to do industrial engineering in Germany? What are the application and admission requirements generally most often that would be required from your side, and also language requirements. So this is really nice for those who still are like thinking about it, are not sure about it, and to know what to expect from it. So which is really great, and I will shortly provide you this link with this link in the chat. Regarding our tip is that, of course, you should try to find the right university profile and study program, which is best fitting from you. But sometimes students are guided. I very often hear that they are trying to find a program just by ranking of universities or by city names. For example, I've heard many times that people are trying to find only universities in Berlin or Munich. Of course, these are great cities with great universities and great programs, and they're quite highly ranked in most international rankings. But this is not really that much important, I would say, because in Germany, there are many programs and many great universities, and in various cities that are providing really great quality education. I mean, the highest quality really. So that's why the rankings cannot always capture all those important details, really important details that are just so essential for you as for student. So if you are guided only by rankings or only by city names, you will miss lots of programs, believe me, and maybe the best fitting programs for you. So I would suggest don't be guided by only these quantitative metrics. Also dig deeper into programs and their content and then you will be able to find the best fitting program for you. Also quite important thing that I would like you to know about is that there are two types of universities that I would like to have a takeaway from today. So one is university or Universität type of university. And if you go to our study finder, for example, and we have filter for that, you can, for example, search for industrial engineering, which is provided only by this type of universities, which is called Universität, and you can control for that. And if you do that, you will find 13 programs in this subject. And another type of university, which is called University of Applied Sciences, that we have today presented. There you will be able to find 45 programs when it comes to industrial engineering. So in this case, the choice is richer. And of course, the question will arise, and will arise that what is then difference between university and the University of Applied Sciences. So what you would like to know is that the main difference is that when it comes to focus, so if you are more into research and theory, then I would say it's more about Universität type of university. But if you are more into application and practice, then I would say University of Applied Sciences should be your stop. Yeah, this is the key difference that I believe you should know about. And last but not least, again, kind of suggestion from our side, from my side and our team side is that, yeah, again, when you are searching for programs and you are generally interested in engineering or industrial engineering, sometimes students are like writing only industrial engineering, for example, and they're really strict in terms of wording, and sometimes this may also lead that you will maybe miss like 5, 6, 7 programs or even more. So depending on situation, that's why I would also suggest you to be a bit more brave and to play a little bit more with words, and maybe you will find a more specific program or more general program that is better fits your interests and your background. So yeah, play a bit more with words while searching for programs, and yeah, be brave in this regard. Okay, so let me now introduce once again our first special guest. So as I said, it's Mr. Stefan Eghbalian from Kiel University of Applied Sciences. You can see on the map that it's quite north of Germany. It's quite cold. I'm also not that north. I'm in Bremen, but still it's also cold here. And I believe that in Kiel it's quite cold as well right now, but Mr. Eghbalian will tell us it better. So Mr. Eghbalian is Managing Director in Master Industrial Engineering Program. And as I said, he will present Master's Program in Industrial Engineering. So I will stop sharing my screen right now and will invite Mr. Eghbalian to take over.
Yes, thank you very much for the nice introduction. Let me just share my screen. Okay, perfect. Well, you already mentioned that we are located right in the north, on the beach, actually, which is a nice feature that our students often enjoy because we have really beautiful beaches there, especially in the summer. It offers lots of opportunities for seaside sports. But we also in the north have a lot of green tech. We have shipping industry, like lots of technology relating to sustainable energy, like wind farms. So it's quite as I say, it's quite a nice location to explore Germany and explore specifically the northern part of Germany. So, well, what's our mission? Well, our mission is we see ourselves as destined to attract all the students, well, from all over the world. In fact, we're a very international program, and we try to attract the best students from all over the world to prepare them, train them to become well-rounded, open-minded, visionary, and motivated to become the next generation of industry leaders. And that's not just a nice saying, but for us, what it means is basically that we expect that, or we strongly believe that to become a successful industry leader, you need a very solid theoretical foundation. So you need to be fully understanding the theoretical concept, the state of research in your respective field. But at the same time, you need to also have the insights that you only get when you worked in the industry. And this has a clear implication in terms of how we choose our lecturers. Our lecturers are all well trained theoretically, but pretty much all of them, I would say, I'm just thinking whether there's an exception, but I think pretty much all of them have been in leading executive positions in the industry. So that gives you the benefit of not just understanding what's the latest state of research, but also how this is being translated in the industry. Where are probably certain shortcomings, even in theory, where we say, yes, it's a nice theory, it's a nice concept, but here oftentimes we find we are struggling actually to implement it, or these are ways to get around it. These are ways to effectively turn an objective into something implementable. So that's why I'm putting here these kind of aspects that you can see: sustainable technology innovation, clearly a focus on. We have dedicated modules on these topics, which I will talk about in a second. Industry relevant knowledge. This is kind of highlighting the practicability of what you're learning. Learning, thinking, being international. Well, most of our case studies, most of the work we do has a strong international angle. So not just that your fellow students will be likely be coming from all over the world, including Germany, of course, but also the cases that you will be working on will be very much international leaning. Theory, practice, synergies, how to best blend those two aspects. I think those are the pillars of what I would say is our focus and what makes us different to many other programs. If you look at the different modules that we are offering, I mean, I think this kind of chart, this kind of illustration puts it quite nicely. So it basically starts with the idea of a life cycle where you say basically start at a stage where you have a pre-production concern, where you can put yourself in a situation where you may be a startup company or a large multinational, thinking of by now Tesla. Tesla used to be a fascinating startup. Now they are a multinational successful company. But when you're at the beginning of the point where before you start actually getting into production, you have to think about what's your vision here, management, leadership, getting good people together, thinking about your innovation. What innovation should you focus on? How do you develop it? What process do you have to establish? So all this happens before the actual production starts. Once you're in production, need to understand how you plan a factory. How do you organize material flow, materials handling? All this becomes more of your concern. And then post-production, like once the product is there, how you internationally distribute it? How do you use the digital media that we are all using these days in an e-business context? How you train yourself to be good in negotiations, especially international negotiation and the contracting. So basically everything we strongly believe you need to be a successful leader, to be a successful manager in a company, whether it's a multinational, as I say, or whether it's a startup company. And kind of all embedded into aspects that really affect very much all areas, which is aspects of total quality management, controlling corporate finance, and last but not least, sustainable strategic management. Because we very much kind of started to gear all the modules that we're looking at and trying to place a strong sustainability angle on it. Because by now, I don't need to tell you, I think sustainability effects on climate, on environment has become not just a concern of some niche markets, but basically it's affecting everything we do, from the inception stage of planning a product until its final distribution. How is the course structured? The course is structured in the following manner. So we basically start the first 2 semesters being mainly focusing, where you will be mainly focusing on familiarizing yourself with modules, getting equipped with the theory, state of research. And once you go through that, you will then work on an industry project where you will be working in a company or with a company where you get a specific task and you will write about this task, but you will actually be working in that company and learning how work in an industrial context looks like and how you can start applying what you learned in the first 2 semesters. The final semester, you write your thesis, and that's very much the end of the program. Here I just give you a brief overview of the modules that are being offered as part of the program. As I mentioned before, production organization, how do you build a factory, how do you design it, material flow simulation, where you work indeed with simulation software. So that helps you to optimize the flow of any kind of factory, materials handling, total quality management, with a strong angle on the controlling aspect. So that makes you, because total quality management, obviously there are many norms that you need also to understand, that a lot of suppliers, a lot of companies expect you today to be, for example, licensed, to be certified. And but here you learn very much all of these aspects that you need to understand in order to be successful in a multinational corporation. logistics, innovation, entrepreneurship. So as I say, also the startup aspect is a quite important one that we focus on. As a matter of fact, myself, I'm what probably many would refer to as a serial entrepreneur, having built quite a few startups, technology companies myself. And so these are aspects that, especially because a lot of oftentimes students ask me, well, is this only relevant for like big companies, what I'm learning here? And I'm saying, no, it really starts from the small entity of a business unit. When you maybe come up with an idea, you start up with you want to build your business yourself, and because this knowledge applies pretty much to all contexts, wherever you have an innovative product, and whenever you want to develop it, and whenever you want to distribute it and build a business around it. Corporate finance, information system management, international negotiations. I mentioned a few. You can read these also up on our website. So there are various modules that we are offering as part of the course. And as I say, last but not least, sustainable strategic management, how all these bits and pieces link and can be applied by recognizing and understanding the principle of sustainable management. What do we expect from you? What do we expect from you? You, as long as you got your Bachelor of Engineering or some kind of comparable degree, meaning that you come from a natural science background, which is a practical focus or a practical edge, and you got an average mark of at least good, it's 2.5. As a matter of fact, I need to adjust this because we recently changed that due to some issues we had, because in some regions the marking system varies quite a bit. So it's 2.8, but you'll see that on our web page as well. We expect you to speak English very well, and because the whole course, the whole program is solely being offered in English, so we don't speak German or any other language, just English. That's enough for you to go through the course successfully. But we also expect from you that you spend about a year and have some professional expertise. You could have taken that or gotten this expertise while you were a student or after. But we, as I say, we would not be able to accept you if you have never worked in a company, if you have no practical experience whatsoever, because I think that would make it more difficult also to appreciate the things we are offering. Key facts about the program. So, as I mentioned before, it's in English. It's a fully accredited master program, of course. You will be awarded with a Master of Science degree, which means after this, you could go straight to your PhD program if your marks are good enough. It takes 4 semesters, but obviously 4 semesters is the ideal. Like if we have also students that work while they do their studies, and sometimes they take 5, 6 semesters. But I think 4 semesters, if you're doing it full time, that should be definitely possible. The number of students we have in each program will not exceed 35 to 40. Generally, I would say it's more in the line of 25 to 30. So it's, as I say, it's and the modules itself, they can be going down to 15 or so. So I think it's a quite pleasant environment to get one-to-one tutorship and support also from your lecturers. Total fees, 9,900 euro for a 2-year program. Application deadline, 15th of March for the summer semester, 15th of September for the winter semester. And if you want more information, you find it here on this website down there. And well, looking very much forward to seeing you taking part in our program and get the best of both worlds by combining theory and practice. Get a great academic degree that will open you doors for any company worldwide, because I think getting this course in English with a focus of practical experience and theoretical knowledge will clearly most industry will appreciate. But also if you should be interested to pursue a further academic career, that would be not a problem. If you have any further questions, please feel free to contact me directly or our program administrator, Mrs. Maike Voigt. You'll find also the details later on the website and admission deadlines. And here's the website again. And if you have any further questions, please feel free to ask me anytime. Looking forward to seeing you soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Eghbalian, for this wonderful presentation. You touched upon many interesting points, interesting for students. That's why questions were coming and coming. So, but I will not address them right now. I will wait. We'll have another presentation, and then towards the end, as I said, we'll have a live Q&A section, a brief live Q&A section where I will address you these questions. But for now, thank you very much. And I will also share the links to your pages in the chat. So dear students, dear attendees, you can click on that links and go to the websites and see more details about email, about contact information, about content, and about requirements. So all is there. So I would suggest you to do that. All right. So let me now share with you my screen once again and introduce our next speaker. Just a second. Yes. So now we are moving, if we are really in the north, now we are quite in the south. So we are in Deggendorf Institute of Technology, and we have our guest, Professor Dr. Raimund Brotsack. He's a head of industrial engineering course, and he will present today the course in Bachelor, on Bachelor level now in industrial engineering. All right, so I will now stop sharing my screen, not to take a lot of time, and let's jump into the most interesting part. So I would invite Professor to start his presentation.
Thank you very much for inviting to give us the chance to present our study program. Now I try to share my screen and hopefully you can see it.
Yes,
now.
Great. Great.
Okay, so yeah, very warm welcome from my side. I'm really interested in introducing the study program Industrial Engineering to all of you at the Deggendorf Institute of Technology, especially at the campus where we are located in Rothal-Inn. It is a European campus, Rothal-Inn. In that or on that campus, all the students are completely taught in English. So we have quite a lot of different study programs in bachelor level and even on master's level, totally in English. A few words to my person. I'm a chemist and I'm a professor since 2013 at the Technical University of Deggendorf, and I'm the head of the study program Industrial Engineering, which I'd like to introduce to you now. So here, our starting slide. Well, we start this program on the bachelor's level every year in October, and the application period is starting in April this year. So from the 15th of April until the 15th of July, students can apply for this program. As the colleague before already mentioned, even here, the total program is taught in English. It is a 7th semester bachelor program where one semester included is as a practical semester. Normally this is done together with a company. So our professors will help the students to find a company where they can do their practical semester, their internship. We're a university of applied science, and that means that our programs are really focused on application. So we're not a university, which is more on the basics and research level. We're on the applied science, and that's for us very important to have contact to companies very early in your studies. So here you have to do an internship at a company normally. The fees are quite low, only 62 euro for each student as a semester fee, which we have to ask you to pay each semester. The location is, as already mentioned, in the south of Germany, nearly not far to the Austrian border, at the European campus Brotsack in Pfarrkirchen. I'd like to introduce to you the program itself. Well, at the very beginning, we try to give all a chance to get a common level, because we have students from 80 nations now coming from different countries. So it's a very international campus. And well, of course, a lot of the students have different background. They are coming from different countries. Well, so the first 2 semesters are really to give all of you the basics, a common level, which is important for the following semester, for the following modules, which are based on that. And here, of course, very important, for example, is mathematics, informatics, so the fundamentals of economy, because here the industrial program is, the one part is economics, the other one is engineering. So we're here in the, well, on the surface between economics and engineering. So these are the basics in the first 2 semesters. And well, each semester is 30 ECTS, which you can achieve when you're going on forward in a good way. So 2 semesters normally is 60 ECTS. What we are asking for is, please start to study honestly, and that means after these 2 semesters, you should have the minimum 40 ECTS. And you should have done minimum once the analytical principles of engineering, technical mechanics, and business principles. So once you should have done the exam in these modules. And if you are not ongoing to have more than 40 ECTS, we just try to get into contact with you and to give you a chance to speak with us, where we can help you to proceed very well in the study. In the following semesters, 3 to 5, we are willing to deepen all the knowledge you got, especially in mathematics, then natural sciences, sustainability, because we're really, as a colleague before mentioned as well, we're now more and more trying to educate in the field of sustainability, one of the most important fields in future industrial societies, financing, management, project work. Of course, it is even possible to go 1 semester abroad in this period from the 3rd to the 5th semester. Not very many of our students are doing this because they mostly already come from different countries and try to study in Germany. So, well, after these 5 semesters, the maximum of ECTS normally you can achieve is 150. If you multiply 30 ECTS each semester by 5, that's 150. And here now the requirement is to have minimum 120, because this is the minimum requirement you need so that you are allowed to join into the internship, into the practical semester, which is in the 6th semester. And of course, we have some rules. You always have 3 chances to write an exam, and if you failed the 3rd time, that means you are exmatriculated. So, well, this is of course a very important thing, to have individual look on your proceedings in the study program, so that this does not happen. Then in the 6th semester, of course, there is the internship. This is a very good opportunity to get into contact with companies. In Bavaria, we have a lot of very good companies, and we have a lot of contacts to those companies. And this is even, well, a first chance mostly for the students to get info or some idea about how companies are working, what they are expecting from students. And this is a whole semester where you can get into contact and find out maybe if this is an opportunity later on for you, even to join in that company to get a job there. So this is a very good opportunity. And in the 7th semester, here the most important thing is you can select some different modules where you are very interested in. So every semester we are offering a wide field of different modules for your personal interests. So you can select 3 electives out of these different offers. And the main thing is you are doing your bachelor thesis normally in the 7th semester. Even here, the minimum requirement now is 150 ECTS, so 6 semesters already absolved. So 180 you can have, 150 you need before you are allowed to do your bachelor thesis. Even this is together with a company or together with the research institute. So some of our students are really very interested in research. Even this is possible, of course. We have some very good, excellent technology campus in different fields of engineering. And you are, of course, even allowed to or invited to do your bachelor thesis in some of these research groups at the Technical University of Deggendorf, or even at our cooperating institutes like Fraunhofer, different Fraunhofer institutes or others, where you can do that. If you're interested in ongoing research, mostly for those students who are very good and even interested in doing a master after the bachelor's degree, maybe even a master in applied sciences, then of course this is recommended. But normally the bachelor work is done together with the company. So a second chance for all of you. If you did an internship at one company A, you can do the bachelor thesis at the company B, and you get a better and greater, bigger network to different companies, and you can figure out the field of your personal interest. Well, additional to this program, we offer different language courses. So the language in the whole program is English, but all our students have to do German, because we are expecting that you're able at the end of this program to work in a German company, and therefore, of course, German is needed. Now we are focusing to B2 level at the end of the study program. So after 7th semester, you should even have the B2 level in German. Additionally, we often intercultural competences, and that's what's really interesting, because 80 nations on our campus, and then you got into contact with your students are from different countries and different cultures, and this is training by doing. But additionally, we help you, we give you some course in intercultural competences, as well as in management. So all these soft skills are trained additionally to these business or engineering related topics. Here you see in general the program. So from bottom up, we're here first to the 7th semester. Already mentioned that we have a lot of basics in the first 2 semesters, like mathematics, informatics, natural sciences, technical mechanics, but is even language here to learn German. This is a big block in there, and starting from the 3rd to the 5th semester, we are deepening that knowledge in different aspects. And then here, the 6th semester is more or less completely blocked for the internship, and you can do some additional courses related to the internship and then the electives I was talking about, where you can select related to your personal interests, and the bachelor thesis. The electives, that's just a view on it, what we did in the past, but there are many more now because we are growing up at our campus, and with the growing up, we are even offering more and more different electives here, more in the field of engineering or in the field of business-related topics. So you have to choose 3 out of them, 2 out of the engineering-related topics and 1 out of the business-related topics. What is important for us, we try to match our theory with practical work. Here you see one view in our chemistry lab. So we have a lab work sessions, especially in the natural sciences. We have projects where you can work together in teams on different topics. Here, for example, you see a few pictures of our lab work session where you get familiar with doing scientific work. Here in physics as well, electrochemical or electrical engineering related topics. What we do is, if COVID is disallowing, we're planning excursions. For example, here nearby the campus in the Bavarian forest, where we did excursion in the module sustainability for a whole weekend. So that's a great opportunity to get much more into contact with the professors and having fun together, getting known each other. So here, this is one thing, or we are all even visiting companies. Like here, they are all nearby, most of them in Bavaria. So we have quite good connections to companies. So small and medium-sized companies, like here, we were at a sewage gas, a wastewater treatment plant, where a small startup is working in the field of power to gas, converting renewable power to natural gas. Or here, BMW in Dingolfing was visited with a student group. So all activities to show you our companies in the region where you can get in for internship and for bachelor thesis. The study program is a full-time program, and after that, of course, you're invited to do even a master at the Technical University of Deggendorf, but you even can do that at other universities of applied science and even universities if you're very good. In Deggendorf, we have, for example, the Master of Healthy and Sustainable Buildings, Mechanical Engineering, Technology Management, or Applied Research in Engineering Sciences. That is a more research-related master, 3 semesters completely working on research topics, and 1 semester, something like that, is lectures, or even more business-related masters in management, general management, company foundation and management. So at the end, our students are really, well, most of them are really got jobs in Germany. We did some research on that point. Nearly everyone found a job in Germany, so you have really good job perspectives because we're in engineering related and business related topics, which is very well needed, very much needed, because you're the interface between those two parts. And well, one of the main thing we are focusing on is now not only in engineering, in technical related aspects, even in business related aspects, we are focusing on sustainability. Sorry. And so here we developed now an online course for all Bavarian universities in the field of sustainability, and you have different parts to join in if you're interested in business or engineering related topics in sustainability, and you really have the chance to get a very interesting job at the end. Because you're a specialist, you can decide you want to be a specialist or a generalist, more technical or administrative oriented in the field of operations, strategic, or even leading or consulting in a company. Here you see some job perspectives, general in the industry, or economy, marketing, sales, so a bright variety of job perspectives if you absolve the program with good grades, of course. Why to study at the European campus Rotterdam? We are really very good in technical aspects as well as in management or administrative subjects. You are learning additional languages, especially German. We are sustainability focused, and additionally you get some education in soft skills, as I was talking about, intercultural competences, or even others. So it's very cheap here, even in Bavaria, in a rural area, much cheaper compared to Munich or any other big city where the living costs are much higher compared to Pfarrkirchen. And well, of course, you're completely integrated in our campus, not only in Pfarrkirchen, even in the Technical University of Deggendorf. We have a lot of activities for welcome of our international students. So it is a very good chance for you to study in English, because then you have chances worldwide to get a job. German additionally helps to get a job in a German company, and this sustainability, especially nowadays, is very important, because all of you, I think, you know the problems we have nowadays and related to climate change and all the things which are following to that. So I just can invite you to apply beginning in April to the program, which starts new in October 22. Feel free to ask if there are any questions. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Brotsack, for this really comprehensive presentation, I would say. Lots of things touched upon, and yeah, let me now do like this. Let's jump into now the Q&A session, the general one, because we had some interesting questions. So let me address it to both speakers. So I will invite speakers to turn on their cameras, and we can already start maybe with the Q&A session. So I was monitoring the Q&A, and I have I compiled some questions that I can address to both of you. So first of all, let's address once again the GPA question, because it was really actively asked by students. For example, if I have 2.9 or 3.0 according to German system, am I eligible for the program, or the GPA requirement is really strictly in, for example, is in strict measures? So would any one of you address this question?
Well, I think this is more related to master's programs. In a master program here, we have normally 2.5, which is the level where we say 2.5 or better.
Yeah.
There are some exceptions, but then we want to have a personal interview with the applicants to see if they're really able to study. For the bachelor degrees, we just need the certificate that they are allowed to study at German University.
Right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I can say that like in our case, the minimum requirement is 2.8. So that's also, I mean, if you fall within that bracket, it makes sense to apply. If you're above that, it makes no sense to apply. So this is the
quite clear cut answer. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, this is really quite important. Thank you. And regarding studying in English, so we often have this question actually that, for example, a person did, for example, high school was totally in English, or if it's she or he wants to come to master's, the bachelor was totally in English, but not in English-speaking country, official, let's say. Does this person have to still provide with some tests like TOEFL, IELTS, or similar, or is this person exempt from them? So anyone from you, again, can start.
Yeah. Well, in this case, I can just briefly address, like we have general requirements like TOEFL, IELTS, FCE or so, but if there's proof that at least for 6 months, it can be documented that there has been study experience in English, that also counts.
Okay, great. And for Deggendorf?
Yeah, this is similar. The studies are completely in English, so we have to check if the students are really able to understand and to discuss, to communicate, and all the typical test certificates which are internationally agreed on. We have a look on them if they are not coming from an English-speaking country.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for the answer. Now I would like to ask you regarding, once again, just to repeat it, regarding the deadlines, because sometimes there are different deadlines for international students and for students from EU, for example. It often happens. So could we just once again repeat exact deadlines for international students?
Yes, well, I can say that in our case for the summer semester, it's the 15th of March. But I would strongly advise waiting until the very last day, because you would need, as an international student, apply via Uni Assist. That's generally in Germany the case. And they may take some time. So if they have a question, if for example, if something is missing or so, they go back to you, and then you may pass the deadline. But the official date is the 15th of March to apply.
Thank you.
For us, the 15th of April is the starting period for the application, and it ends on the 15th of July. That's generally the case. We even recommend the students to apply as early as possible. And we even try to check all the documents as early as possible. This application period is every year for the winter semester, for the coming winter semester, which starts on the 1st of October. And sometimes we have some challenges because the students, if they get the allowance to study, have to look for visa and to collect all the documents they need. That sometimes it takes quite a long time. So we try to work on that formalities as quick as possible, and we recommend students to apply as soon as possible, so that everything could work for starting in the 1st of October.
Yeah. And just to add on here, because we mentioned the deadline for the winter semester. Like what I mentioned, the 15th of March is for the summer semester, like the coming semester now. The 15th September, this is for the winter semester in our case.
Okay, yeah. So dear attendees, as you can see, the deadlines for winter, especially for those who are interested in winter, are quite far away. Still, you have good time to prepare for that in terms of familiarize yourself. What are the documents exactly required? What is the visa procedure that you would need? So all the things like that, you can already slowly start, because I also came to Germany as an international student, and believe me, it takes time. So take as many months as possible. So it's never too early for getting ready for Germany. Okay. The last question, like a general question that I would address, is that because maybe some students joined a bit early and they missed that part. So just to repeat once again, regarding the background requirement, I would say, is there any specific background which is required, for example, for a student who wants to come to bachelor or on master's, what these students' background should strictly be in terms of studying background?
Well, yeah. You want to go ahead?
Yeah, thank you. Well, for the bachelor program, normally we just need the allowance to study, which in Germany, this is the Abitur. And similar document, a certificate we need that the applicants are allowed to study, and this is checked by Uni Assist. I think this is the well, of course, if they are interested in a business and engineering related topic, it is always minimum to be good in mathematics, because in both fields mathematics is needed as a basic. So if someone has no idea about math, maybe not the best to study engineering related topic. But in general, no special background is needed.
Okay, great, thank you.
Well, in our case, because our program is a master's program, our requirement is, as long as you have an engineering background, you are fully eligible, or as I mentioned before, alternatively, you could have also a natural science background with a practical focus. That's also possible. Okay,
great, thank you. And I think that Professor Brotsack, there's a direct question to Deggendorf, I would say, but you already somehow addressed this question. So this person asks that, do I have to do advanced levels of A levels, or if so, what are the minimum requirements for your bachelor? So I think that what we would suggest is to go to homepage of the program and to see their all minimum requirements, because by heart it's difficult to recall all of them. If you would like to add something to that, please go ahead.
Yeah, no, you find all this information on our homepage at TH Deggendorf. And well, what is recommended is, of course, maybe you already saw that we are really expecting from all of the students that they're able to speak German at the end of the study program. So even this, some competences in languages are quite good. Maybe you even can prepare a little in a first German course if you did not have any German when you come to the program first time. It's challenging to get the B2 level after 7 semester. That might be a big challenge, but that helps, of course, to do some German even in your home country before you come.
Thank you. And now let me address a specific question now to Mr. Eghbalian. So regarding your program in Kiel, so do internships count as professional experience? Because I remember you also said 1 year is needed. So yeah,
they do. Any kind of practical experience, and certainly also if you do an apprenticeship or like while you were a student, so that definitely counts.
Thank you very much. Now again, a general question, which is quite interesting, but let's address. So the person asks that if I have, for example, German language A1 or A2 certifications, is that somehow plays a role in terms of being advanced? I mean, giving higher quality to their application, or not in case of both programs, or it doesn't matter in this case?
In our case, I can shortly say no, it doesn't make any difference. That's not something that we consider as part of your application as an important factor.
In our case, even so, this is not relevant for the application. It helps, of course, in the individual situation for these applicants to get B2 level at the end of the study program. But it's not a must to have it at the beginning.
Okay, great. Maybe last 2 questions, and we can call it a day. So one general question. We had a question about scholarships. So I already explained to the student how scholarship system generally works like in Germany. So it's usually the separate application from separate funding institutions. But other than that, is there any, for example, scholarship possible from your university or program? I think Mr. Eghbalian especially mentioned the tuition fee. I think that in case of Deggendorf, there was no tuition fee, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, in case of Deggendorf, that I would say maybe follow our article that I linked to several of you, where you can see what are the funding opportunities for you to to cover your living costs, because in Deggendorf you will not have to cover tuition fees. So like DAD, or there's some promotional talent organization or Deutschlandstipendium, which will work for you all. But yeah, and this all also will work for Kiel as well. But let's see if Kiel has any additional option for scholarship.
Well, I would say there are various programs, nothing that we focus on, or specifically that programs that I would highlight. However, there's, I would say, one specific aspect that also is pretty unique at Kiel, and that's the fact that all our presence phases, meaning lectures, seminars, etc., they're all held on weekends. Mm-hmm. That means during the week, you basically, this is the time for you to study, go to the library, or, which as a matter of fact, I would say at least half of our students do, they start, even though if they may have started as a full-time student, they may start getting a student, start as on a student program in a company, or work, some of them even work full-time. So it is a kind of a, I would say, a sliding process, or it's fairly flexible in this respect also, not just to get additional experience in the company, but also to earn some income while you study. That at least the course has been designed to cater for these kind of demands. And what we experience is that oftentimes for students, this is a springboard to get a job after their studies, when they're starting already to work with companies while they're doing their studies. Great.
Actually, yeah, you already answered the next question I had, actually, because yeah, there was a person several times asked already, and I made a promise that I will address this question regarding dual study options. So in terms of, this person said that if I'm doing internship in Daimler, and I would continue that, and at the same time to study. And this question was addressed to both programs. Is it possible to do that in both cases, in Deggendorf as well, in Kiel as well, or this person will be restricted in this regard?
From if I am allowed to start, yeah, sure. Yes, for our university, this is a great opportunity, and we support, of course, all the students who have the chance to do a dual study program. So sometimes for the very good ones, even we can try to help them to find a partner, a company partner, and if they are already coming with a partner, they are very warm welcome. Yeah.
Great, yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah. Well, same here. I mean, that's something that our program has really been designed to cater for these kind of opportunities. So most definitely, if he was working even full time, he should be able. We have students, some of them even like I remember recently was one working for Fraport, and he's been stationed in the US, and some others have been stationed in Arabia, in some Arabic countries. And they managed to do so. So it is indeed possible.
Great. Wonderful. So thank you very much for all these comprehensive answers, which is really great. We answered really lots of questions and really on-point answers, of course. And let me now once again share with our attendees the last slides from my side. Just a second. Yes. So just to say thank you very much for those who stayed and for those interesting questions that were asked during the whole webinar. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you have more questions, which are for Professor Brotsack or Professor Eghbalian, so you can all send you see how flexible they are, and you can address them always on their emails, and they already shared with you some contact informations. But if you have more general questions regarding studying in Germany that you would like to know more about, of course, we are also open for that. You can see our email, which is info@mygermanuniversity.com, and we will get back to it as soon as possible. Yeah. Thanks for everyone. Thanks for our speakers, our guests, to our attendees. And yeah, to our attendees, if you would like to give us feedback regarding today's webinar, we will be happy to hear that and to see that. And the direct links to our feedbacks are in the chat already. So yeah, I would call it a day right now. I would thank our guests once again for this really interesting information. Maybe I will do my second master in industrial engineering because it was really quite interesting. Thank you very much and have a nice evening, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you and stay healthy. Hope to see a few of you in Verkehr.
I'm sure you will. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.